Once a year, go someplace you have never been before. This is what Dalai Lama said once. In today's episode, we are going to meet someone who has changed the whole academia with his revolutionary ideas and thoughts. Let's go and meet. He started his career as chef de partie with UP Hotels Limited, worked with Duke Retreats Khandala, Taj Residency, Clark's Shiraz, worked as executive chef Bombay Tandoor Restaurant Sichuan, China. After working for so many years in industry, he returned to India to fulfill his passion for teaching and training the coming generation of professional hoteliers. He worked with many institutes and universities and currently working as Dean Director, School of Hospitality Management, IMS Unison University, Dehradun, Dr. Vinay Rana. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Sashi.
I
Please do come over.
I hope I'm not disturbing.
Not at all, not at
Okay.
all. Please.
Now, shall we begin, sir? Yeah. How was your lockdown experiences, sir?
Sashi, wonderful question and a very difficult answer if I have to put it across. I think lockdown was a challenge for everybody. It was unprecedented challenge for everybody around the world. So why should I single myself out? Yes, I had also faced the challenge during the lockdown. But then as they say, every dark cloud has a silver lining. So if we look at this lockdown as an opportunity to introspect, I think for me how it has worked out is it gave me an opportunity to slow down. I think prior to lockdown we were into neck break speed, we were caught up in our professional life, and I think looking at it in a wonderful way, looking at it in a positive way, this lockdown has been a wonderful opportunity to just slow down your pace, introspect, do few things which have been long pending on your bucket list. So one of the things on my bucket list has been do a little bit of reading, which definitely I have been able to do so. And of course, there were lots of information coming across through the WhatsApp platform, through the social media. One thing that I discovered during the lockdown is importance of having this clean information. So from this all clutter of information hounding you, troubling you, slightly making you a bit of anxious, the search and the way how to search for clean information was something that I learned during this lockdown. Again, the value of appreciation is something that I have learned. You see, never ever had I imagined a clean blue skies in Dehradun, the wonderful pollution-free air in Dehradun. So this was something that I discovered during the lockdown. And I found out that we had never ever had this appreciation for these God-gifted things. So looking at it from a very pragmatic view, I think I found lockdown to be very interesting. It had made me slightly mature in the way we look at things in life. So that was my lookout.
Amazing. So was there anything new you learned during the lockdown period, sir?
Again, Shashi, I think you are in habit of asking some tedious question for which there is no straightforward answer. Yes, the skill, the important thing that I actually learnt, or it was out of force of habit, or rather I would say requirement. Me being from the academics, we were given a challenge that we need to conduct our classes online. The very thought behind it was not to have any academic loss for our students. So since it was the whole idea about not to have any kind of loss for our beloved students, all of us as a faculty team, including myself, we started learning all the modus operandi, the nitty-gritty of online learning. And of course, I think it was a bit tedious. Initially, we were used to this one-on-one classroom sessions, and I think most of the faculties, they feel very comfortable at this format. Now, migrating all of a sudden overnight to this platform, then aligning yourself, then planning certain content so that we keep our student engaged was something that I think that gave us a challenge. And you know, the hoteliers, they always accept the challenges. Right. So we readily accepted this challenge. My team, we worked upon certain brainstorming how to go about it. And definitely, I think we adopted it. You see, everything that happens for the first time, it has its own apprehensions. Once you are beyond the threshold of apprehension, you start discovering the new ways how you can deliver the information on this wonderful IT platform. And that is what we discovered. And first we learned the way we can do our synchronous learning or synchronous teaching on the online platform. Then of course we started focusing on developing some entirely engaging content for our classroom. The video elements, then we started doing little bit of research on our video content that we could integrate into our teaching. How simple skills like how we can embed video and our audio on the PowerPoint, that was something I would have never ever learned in a usual day operation. And since this was forced upon us, I think that made me a better technological person. So I think in a way, students apart, it has been learning for most of the teachers. Most of the teachers have been the students during this pandemic.
Right. Amazing. There have been many apps banned by the government of India. But sir, I want to know, is there any app on your phone that you cannot live without?
Prior to this COVID pandemic and prior to the lockdown, I could live without any of the app on my phone. But then I think there was a dawn during this pandemic, during this lockdown, that most of this app, if used judiciously, they can be to your advantage. Of course, per se, I think one of the important app that I discovered during the lockdown, or it was suggested by the Indian government to install Arogya Setu, and I found that I could just get lots of information, correct information, clean information, statistics, what's happening around me, to keep me abreast about the development of this pandemic. I think I would say installing the Arogya Setu had been a wonderful task that I have done during this COVID. Then along with some of the apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, I think I've been able to use it very, very efficiently for managing my professional arena. All my interaction with my academic team, they have been managed through lots of social apps or through lots of WhatsApp, lots of application on my phone. So initially, with some of the apps whom I had the apprehension, and I think during the pandemic I was very comfortably using them. So this is what we call transition to a technology. We call it, I believe, adaptation and adoption of a technology. And per se, by force, by this pandemic, I think it has actually made me venture through, explore all the aspects of different technologies that we have been offering.
It's there in the news that hotel industry is definitely going to bounce back, and hotels are opening in Delhi and in other parts of India. What is the scope of hotel management in current scenario?
Shashi, the news, the screaming headlines that we have seen during this pandemic, that tourism and hospitality industry, in the holistic sense, it has been badly hit. Yes, there is no denying the fact that tourism and hospitality worldwide, I would use the word worldwide, is hit very badly. I think this is the sector which has the inclusion of local economies. It calls for the inclusion of all the workers, skilled, unskilled, from all the walks of life. That is the beauty, and that is actually the curse of this industry. So whenever any kind of pandemic happens, whenever there is any kind of unrest, whenever there is any kind of untoward situation in any geography or country, tourism and hospitality is first to be the hit. Now, there is always a silver lining. There have been numerous examples in the past. The industry has been very, very resilient. Come vaccine along the way, I think there will be certain development in terms of government easing up the travel restrictions. This industry is going to bounce back. You take my word for it. Most of the experiences in the past, they do indicate that we have bounced back. I think let's talk about the SARS scenario. Let's talk about the World Trade Center and of course the attack at the Taj Mumbai. So all these major devastating effects did had some impact on the industry, but then within a year's time industry was back in place, and so we did follow. I think history is going to repeat itself. The industry, due to its resilient nature, is going to bounce back. Then of course this time when it bounces back, there will be certain things into inclusion. Now there will be a shift into digital adaptation of digital technology. Right. Now most of the hotels and the tourism business, they are going to actually integrate the major part of their operation with the help of the digital technology. And of course here it would be the migration of the usual approach to the contactless guest service, and that is the requirement of the current scenario, and this is going to continue. You see, this is going to continue till the time the guest is confident, they feel safe, and we are well above and beyond this pandemic situation. So every situation does have a certain tangential effect on the industry, and same effect is going to be the tourism and hospitality industry. It will rise like a phoenix. It will have certain new elements to it, and it will be better prepared for any kind of challenges for future. So I have a complete faith this industry is going to come back very soon as the vaccine is into place and the local travel is going to start, and definitely over the period of time even the international travel is going to start, and we will be seeing happy faces in this industry.
Online teaching is a challenge for both teachers and students. So how to motivate both of them?
Shashi, since I think this was unprecedented situation, online teaching was also an unprecedented solution to academia. Now most of the students and most of the faculties, they were not trained for this kind of academic delivery. But then overnight, I think since the migration happened within weeks and within overnights, most of the faculty, they were able to adopt and adapt. Right. The challenges initially were the connectivity issues from the students' end. Our students who were from the different geographies across the country, across various international geographies also, they did find some problem with the connectivities, and over the period of time we could migrate to a platform wherein we could interact with our students, wherein they can log into our services, academic services, with a minimum connectivity, minimum bandwidth connectivity also. So over the period of time, this was a discovery for students also, and the discovery for the faculties, and of course the IT team, the IT support team that was actually trying to bridge the gap. Then of course as we proceeded towards the academic delivery, we discovered the same synchronous learning that we were having in the classroom could not happen on the synchronous online learning. The lecture delivery had certain disadvantages in the connect, the visual connect, the kind of classroom connect wherein all your senses, they were involved. But then there were certain limitations that were happening on the internet online classes, wherein you could see the student, we could hear the student, but then beyond that we could not have that classroom kind of feel altogether. So most of the faculties, they were grappling with this situation, and later on I think they could understand what is the importance of having the correct background during the classroom teaching. They could understand what would be the correct importance of having the change in their pitch and tone of their voice during the academic delivery. Then some of the faculties, they discovered they could very well integrate their recorded lecture with the PowerPoint presentations. Right. So it was a learning journey for both the sides, for the students and the faculties. Then of course we discovered that we need to develop contents very differently from what the kind of content we used to develop for the one-on-one classrooms. So the integration of enriching videos, enriching PowerPoints, enriching case studies. So we built up all this into the online delivery, and that is something that over the period of time, over the period of 1 or 2 months, I think a wonderful online delivery mechanism came into place. So as I would say, it was a learning experience both ways, for teachers and for the students. Then of course, especially for hotel management, there is a challenge for conducting the practicals. You see, practicals are most important aspect of academic delivery in any hospitality program. Initially, what we have done is we have migrated to doing online demonstration. You see, nothing can replace the beauty, the magic of having the practicals in a lab, wherein you can smell a dish, wherein you can touch a dish. So these two things were missing when we were delivering online. But then somehow the lost academic delivery of practicals was made up through this online demonstration. And in the near future, whenever I think there will be a possibility of having this engagement, first thing we are going to do is we will allow to do practicals in small batches, and certain portion of the theoretical classes still we would like to continue in the online mode. I think that would be a beautiful blended kind of a learning that we will look forward in the coming future.
It's an amazing idea. There are so many universities and colleges offering hotel management. Now, what makes School of Hospitality Management, IMS Unison University, different from others?
This question has many implications. You see, a good hospitality institution or a university actually imbibes by a philosophy. There are 4 tenets, or I would say 4 verticals to running a good hospitality school in any university. The first thing, most of the people, they start by saying a good infrastructure. I start by saying good faculty lineup. First thing that is most required is the good faculty lineup. At the School of Hospitality Management, IMS Unison University, we have got eclectic mix of hand-picked faculties, the passionate individuals who have eclectic mix of experience from industry and academia, and they blend in very beautifully, and they are the people who actually can train the millennial students. So I'm proud to say that I've got fantastic pick of faculty teams to train my students. Then secondly, the good infrastructure. I think what I make a claim that some of my all my labs are one of the best labs in the entire region. We have got state-of-the-art, international kind of styled laboratories of basic training kitchen, advanced training kitchen. Then we have basic training restaurant and the advanced training restaurant. The kind of bar that we have is, I would say, fantastic training bar in the entire North India. That is the level of commitment I can put across. And of course, our housekeeping labs and the front office lab, I would club them and I would say my room division labs. They are one of the kind. We are enabled with IDS training software for our students, and this is the software that is very much in vogue, very much in usage in most of the hotels across the whole of the Asia. So adding this software to our room division training skills will definitely give the students an edge. Then of course, along with it, there has to be a very well tailored industry synced syllabus. I think we have been very successful in designing a syllabus which is industry synced. Our board of studies have inclusion of members from industry, the learned people from the academia, and we try to rule out all the redundancies that are in the syllabus, in the hospitality syllabus that has been there for so many years. And through this dynamic process, we are trying to remove the redundancies and are trying to make our syllabus more proactive and more industry synced. This will definitely translate into students getting absorbed into good job opportunities, because they will have the advantage and edge from being trained under this specially designed syllabus. And of course, I would say the final thing that makes us very, very distinct is the type of student engagement activities that we do on campus. As part of our industrial training, we have activity day, Wednesday being the activity day for our student training. And on this activity day, we try to do student engagement activities that actually will train them in the soft skills and the finer aspects of their practical skills. We bring in the industry experts. We have lots of competitions, culinary competitions, food and beverage services competition, a gamut of activities. You can imagine the school holding as close to around 30 events in a year that actually gives them in true sense how the industry is going to be and what kind of practical skills that they should be having. And this activity session on Wednesday makes it very, very popular amongst the students, and all the students, they look forward to this activity day every Wednesday. So in a way, I think we have been able to keep our student engagement level very high through these activities.
It was an amazing sir, to talk to you, and I just want you to end this show today. That what is your message to the current students or whoever want to pursue hotel management?
Sashi, the hallmark of a good hotel is nothing very big. It boils down to something very simple: be passionate. Be passionate about whatever you do. Love what you do and do what you love. I've been chef in the industry. So what I would end this session with a simple note: life is an exotic dish. Cook it with best ingredients.